wind never stopped in Antarctica. It didn't move like air. It screamed like something alive, dragging needles of snow across the endless white. Outpost 12 stood alone at the edge of the Ross ice shelf, a cluster of metal and frost buried halfway in snowdrifts. 5 of us came here to dig into the past. Dr. Halvorsen, our leader, a man who believed the ice held stories older than humanity. Lynn, the biologist, whose laughter used to break the silence like sunlight. Torres, the engineer who made the machines obey the cold. Ava, the mede, who carried a flask of coffee that froze solid before dawn. And me, the one behind the camera, trying to capture discovery before it devoured us. The plan was simple: drill deeper than anyone before. Collect microbial samples from ancient ice. Return heroes. On the first day, we celebrated when the drill cut cleanly through the first frozen layer. By the 7th, no one was celebrating. The sound changed. It was no longer the clean whine of metal on ice. It thudded, hollow, like the drill had struck something soft. Torres stopped the machine, his eyes wide. When we pulled the bit up, something clung to it. Not ice, not stone, something that looked like flesh. Pale, fibrous, threaded with faint veins that pulsed once, then went still. We told ourselves it was a trick of light, but the pulse came again. Halvorsen said, almost reverently, "It's still warm." The words hung in the air like frost. We took it inside the lab tent. Lynn placed the fragment under a microscope, her hands trembling even through her gloves. The cells moved. Not all of them, but enough to know it wasn't dead. They divided slowly, rhythmically, like they were listening to something. The monitor hummed, then flickered. The lights dimmed. "It's alive," Lynn whispered. The temperature in the tent dropped 5 degrees in a minute. That night, I heard it for the first time. Not the wind, not the generator, the heartbeat. It came from beneath the floorboards. Deep, slow, deliberate. Thump, thump, thump. I pressed my hand against the ice and felt it answer. I told Halvorsen in the morning. He smiled, like I'd confirmed his greatest dream. "It's not noise," he said. "It's communication." He wanted to dig deeper. Ava said we should stop. Torres said the drill wasn't built for organic material. Len just stared at the ice like it was whispering to her. When the drill started again, the heartbeat grew louder. The generator lights flickered with every beat. Our instruments showed vibrations coming from miles below, something massive moving in the dark. By nightfall, the radio was nothing but static. When I turned it off, the static didn't stop. It just shifted into rhythm with the heartbeat. By the next morning, the ground trembled underfoot. The borehole widened on its own. Lynn leaned over it, camera light flashing across the rim. The glow that came from below wasn't reflection. It was red. Something beneath the ice pulsed with faint light, matching the rhythm we heard. Halvorsen called it the organism. He said we were witnessing life frozen before evolution. "Do you hear it?" he asked, his breath fogging the lens of his goggles. "It's remembering." He went out alone that night with a thermal scanner. We found the scanner the next morning, still recording. Its last frame showed him standing before something vast, something shaped like a wall of flesh. He never came back, Torres. Lost Italiano. He packed his gear, said he'd walk to the nearest base. Lynn tried to stop him, her voice calm and wrong. "You can't leave," she said. "It's already inside us." He shoved past her and ran into the storm. The snow swallowed him in seconds. His footsteps didn't last that long. By the 10th day, we were at Trey. The heartbeat now filled the air, shaking the metal walls of the outpost. Lynn was different. She hadn't slept in 2 nights. Her eyes were wide and empty. She said the sound wasn't coming from below anymore. "It's under my skin," she said. She pressed her palm against her chest. I saw it move under her parka just a twitch, but enough to make me step back. I begged her to rest. She only smiled. That night, I woke to find her gone. Her jacket lay folded neatly beside the borehole, her boots placed beside it. The snow around it was smooth, no footprints, no sign of air. Ava and I sealed the tent and waited. The generator failed before dawn. The lights went black. We sat in darkness, listening. Then came the whisper. Not words, just a vibration that felt like breath on our necks. Ava cried quietly, saying she could feel her pulse sinking to it. When I turned on my camera, the lens fogged instantly. For a second, in the glow of the LCD, I saw faces in the ice wall outside, dozens of teams. Frozen, but watching. When I blinked, Te Wedegone, the heartbeat grew faster, louder, closer. When morning came, the camp was gone. The tents were buried in mounds of translucent ice, smooth and glass-like. Inside the ice, something moved, slow shapes pressing against the surface, stretching, retreating. The borehole had sealed itself. In its place rose a bulge, a mound that breathed. The ice flexed with every pulse. I could see veins running through it, veins filled with red light. Ava tried to radio for help, but the voice that answered wasn't human. It said one word: awake. We packed and fled. The snow was falling thick, glowing faintly crimson. The ground heaved beneath our boots like a lung. Behind us, the mountain split open. A tower of ice and flesh rose into the air, slick and wet. It made no sound, but the heartbeat was deafening now. The sky burned red. Ava fell. She said it was calling her name. When she looked up at me, her eyes were glassy. Her last words were, "It's not the ice that's alive, it's the world." Then the ground opened, and she was gone. I kept running. The sky froze. Everything was silent, except for that sound inside my head: thump, thump, thump. They found me weeks later, half buried in a snowdrift. My body temperature was below freezing, yet my heart still beat. Too slow, too steady. They said I was lucky. They said I should be dead. They took me to McMurdo Station, hooked me up to monitors, asked me what happened. I told them the truth. They laughed. Then, that night, the monitors in my room began to pulse on their own. The pattern matched my heartbeat. Except it wasn't mine. It was the same one from beneath the ice. The same sound I'd carried back with me. The doctors said it was a glitch, but the next morning, one of them was gone. His parka was folded by the door, just like Lynn's. Frost covered the walls. My breath came out in red mist. Sometimes, when the room goes quiet, I hear it again, the heartbeat of something that should never have woken up. The others, Kente Yurit. Yet, but they will. The eyes remembers us. It always does. And now, when I sleep, I dream of the white horizon splitting open, the frozen world stretching and breathing beneath my feet. If you ever feel the floor vibrate late at night, don't listen too closely. Don't mistake it for your own pulse, because once you hear it, it won't stop. Our team dug too deep into the ice, and now it won't stop beating. And if you still think you can handle more, if your pulse hasn't yet matched the rhythm in your ears, click to enter the next story. The next one doesn't start in the cold. It starts beneath your own home, where the walls have been listening all along.